Welcome to Feed Your Lion. I'm Dr. Jodelle Yount, and I'm here to aid you in the mastery of total health, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and financial. So prepare to have your wellness tank filled up with this podcast. Welcome to another episode of Feed Your Lion podcast. Today's guest, we got Michelle Gerlach here, and she owns Willow Valley Farmhouse, which I'm very excited to get into because it's all natural products and tallow and that kind of thing. And people love those products. Mm-hmm. Love those products. And you've been in business how long now, Michelle?
Officially July 1st of last year.
So newer business doing this, but you've
been
made in for a long. Yes. You know, that's a common theme with herbalists. Like, usually when they get to the point of business, they've been doing this for years and years and years before they ever get. When we were talking just before we started here, she said, "Now I'm not the businesswoman yet," and I said, "You are now, sister, because you got your product." Yeah, it's happening, and that's how it goes. But so I want to kind of start with the beginning. Michelle and I are just meeting each other now, so so I don't know her background or like where all you started, what got you into the herbalism. So kind of take me back to the beginning here. What first piqued your interest in?
Okay. So I was a early young bride in the 90s.
Okay.
Every cooking experience I had been like in my mama's kitchen with salt and pepper and bacon grease. That was the extent of seasonings that was done very much for us. And somebody for my wedding in 92 got me a Martha Stewart cookbook. And there were these herbs and things I'd never heard of. I didn't know how to get them, where they grew. So I started growing herbs strictly to cook with. That was it. And so my children were raised eating a lot of herbs, but it was just for the flavor, just because it made things taste really good.
Sure.
Then let's start, like, say one of my children becomes a teenager and starts to get ill, badly ill. And we saw specialists in Cincinnati and Columbus and Toledo and found out that we have a genetic condition, like a medical condition, and that it's very saturated in this area, like in our Appalachian area, and it was a connective tissue disorder.
Okay.
But that caused for her, she was fainting. There were these multiple systematic problems, 30-some different food allergies. So I started checking labels really carefully for these hidden food allergies that she had. It was a very long, stressful time. And I found out later on, set off MS in me. So we went from her being sick to then I've been a caregiver for so long, I haven't taken care of myself, and now I'm
Now, did they test you both, or did they test you after her, or how'd that work?
We saw a geneticist for her because she initially started out with a condition called POTS.
Yes.
That was her first thing. She would stand up and faint. So I've got this teenager.
For people that don't know what that is, it's posture orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Yes.
And so once they diagnosed that, they wanted to find out why.
Yes.
Why do you have POTS?
Yes.
And so they diagnosed this Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is connective tissue disorder.
I was going to ask you if that was it.
When we met the geneticist at Cincinnati Children's, he walked in and he shook my hand and he said, "What she has is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and she gets it from you." And I said, "How do you know she gets it from me?" And he said, "I shook your hand. And I felt it in your hand," and I just thought, okay. But I couldn't, again, I was teaching kindergarten at the time.
Wow.
And I was just like, I don't even know what, I was teaching kids 2 + 2 yesterday, and today I'm trying to learn medical terms that I don't understand. And the benefit of having her at a children's hospital was they simplify diagnosis, and they're really good at explaining things well. And we went from cardiology to genetics, and then her GI system shut down, paralyzed. That whole autonomic shutdown system happened.
Yes.
And so we became just saturated in new terms, medical terms, health things that we had no idea how to cope with. And had doctor after doctor and specialist after specialist say, this is what it is, but there's not a lot we can do. And that that caused me to have to really carefully watch what she was eating, and try to find ways to ease her symptoms, because not much else was doing anything for her.
Was it like all the common stuff, like the glutens and the caseins and all that?
Her
or was
allergies were mostly all, at that time, fruits and vegetables.
Really?
So initially, like, it was the tingling in her mouth and then tingling down her throat. She had started with some food allergies when she was really young, but peak for like POTS-like symptoms and autonomic dysfunctions, early teens, it's a hormone, like that hormone kicks everything in. So whenever her hormones were off, then her symptoms would all, she said it felt like everything was on the same dial, and it would all amp up all at once or all kind of calm down all at once. But caring for her long term, by the time we were at the worst of it, she was in a wheelchair on feeding tubes.
Ow.
And 16, and that was my whole life, was caring for her. And then what I did without taking care of myself is I made myself sick.
Yeah.
I made myself sick pretty much, yes. And again, it was, you have MS. There's not a lot we do for that. You know, you have I have the type that you get remission and relapses.
Relapse, yep.
Yes. Yep. And the doctor at the Cleveland Clinic said to me, long-term stress is one of your triggers. Mm-hmm. So what you need to do is anytime something comes up, you need to look at that situation and say, is this worth brain damage? She said, because I can look at your scans and I can see the lesions on your brain. And you just need to decide, is worrying about this worth the brain damage it's going to cause me? And a lot of times it's not.
I don't know if that causes more stress by that statement or...
Right, because some things you can't control.
Right, yeah.
Some things you just can't control. So...
You've had some interesting doctor experiences.
We have.
I shook your hand and knew it was from you.
I know.
That's kind of like.
And he said, "What did you?" Because I can bend my fingers back and touch.
Yeah, that's.
And he said, "What did you think that was?" like
you know that.
And I said, "I just thought I was bendy. Like my friends thought it was cool." And he's like, "It's not cool. Don't do that anymore. You're going to harm yourself." And he said, "In your family, like, does your family not have problems?" And I said, we do. We all have bad hips and bad knees. Mm-hmm. And we call it the Dixon affliction and laugh about it. And he said, it's not a joke, it's a disease. You need to, like, it's a genetic condition. And this is until the 80s.
The Dixon affliction.
That was what we called it.
That's hilarious.
We all have bad knees, That's
hilarious.
And so until the 1980s, Ehlers-Danlos didn't even have a name.
So they weren't testing you back then.
Right.
They didn't know that. Yeah.
I grew up knowing I was bendy.
Yes.
Or we called it double jointed. That's what everybody around here called it, which it's not medically accurate in any way.
Yes.
But all of that to say, I started trying to find ways naturally so that I wasn't putting more chemicals, more medications through our body, that the side effects were worse than the symptoms we were having in the first
100%.
place.
Yeah.
We were already familiar with herbs and knew that we liked them and they tasted good, and I knew how to grow things. But when I would start to study about an herb and see all this list of all the things it could do, that's when I thought there's got to be something to that. Mm-hmm. And so I started trying to make teas and different tinctures and things that could be helpful. And then 3 years ago, I got shingles. And of course, I didn't know what it was. I've always been like the rashy girl, always break out. I didn't get sunburn, I'd get sun poisoning. I was, that kid.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't find anything to heal that skin barrier. And that's when I found tallow. And that's when I started making tallow. And it's just turned one thing into another.
So let's talk about tallow real quick. So tallow and mainly beef fat, right?
That's what I use.
What you're making, right?
Right.
I wore my cow shirt today.
I didn't even notice. That's awesome. Yeah. Our cows are black, but they're all good. I'm sure they're good. That looks like a dairy cow, actually, but okay.
I'm not sure what.
But I love
maybe
it.
like a Highland. I don't know.
Yeah, or a Jersey.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're taking the fat from the cow. Mm-hmm. And those are I'm going to tell you the very limited knowledge I have because I've never made it. But you've got a lot of the fat-soluble vitamins, so like A, D, E, and K.
Yes.
in them, and then a lot of it isn't it pretty similar to like what our face needs and our skin?
That's why it's so, I believe the technical term was like bioavailable.
Yes.
To us, like we can get what we need out of it into us. And so we do raise cattle at our farm, but you only get about 20 pounds of the suet fat. You only want the inner organ fat.
That's around kidney, right?
Yes. I don't use like the trimming fat.
Okay.
I only use the stuff on the inside.
Now the suet fat around the organs, I have read that before. The trimming fat you're talking about more like just like not organ specific. That would be the rest.
It's better for cooking. I mean, it's good for cooking.
Yes.
But it's not as good for our skin.
It doesn't have the same nutrient density.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so that's like that. So then do you like process this yourself? Okay.
I use a butcher that's in Boyd County that my family's used for generations.
Okay.
So we have been on our same farm. My grandchildren are their 7th generation, raised right there.
Okay.
And we were the first dairy farm in Boyd County. So we've raised cattle for generations and used the same butcher for generations. So it's run by a lady now, one of the descendants of their family, and I go to her and she'll say, this is so-and-so's. Like she knows who the good ones are, and she'll say, this is so-and-so's. And so I know the name of the farmer when I walk out of the butcher shop.
Wow.
I know whose fat I'm dealing with, which is nice to me.
That's really cool.
It is, and so I take it home and I process. It usually takes about 4 to 5 times, and you just render it and clean it over and over and over. And then it's a solid, hard product. It's really good and firm. If you ever get just pure suet that's soft, it's probably made from trim fat instead of the suet fat.
So the suet fat usually gets harder than the trim fat.
It's very hard.
Okay.
Not that that's a benefit, but it's kind of a judge of how you know the quality of the product.
If it's good or not. Okay. So how do you take it from the hard product to something people can put on their skin then?
I melt it back down.
Okay.
Let it cool. And then I add jojoba oil. That alone, just the beef fat and jojoba whipped up, is a cream that you can put on your skin.
Okay.
But I add lavender essential oil to my base product because lavender is anti-inflammatory. And a lot of the times we're dealing with things like shingles or eczema or psoriasis, and it calms that inflammation down on the skin. I myself have eczema and rosacea, and I thankfully don't have shingles any longer, but that's for me why I started making that.
Yeah, so I have like the really bad rosacea. You can see it. I've been inflamed for a while now, but a lot of it's when I'm eating like bad and not doing what I should be doing. But anyways, yeah, I've heard that that's actually really good. I've only used a couple times.
I'll get you some.
Yeah, Sam,
I can hook you up.
Hook me up.
I can hook you up.
I like that.
Yep.
So you melt it back down. You're adding in what was the other?
Jojoba oil.
Jojoba oil. Now tell me about that oil. What is that?
I originally started making it with castor oil.
Okay.
Because castor is heavy and dense.
Yes.
But my daughter got pregnant and she wanted some for her stomach. And she said, we're not supposed to use castor oil when you're pregnant. And I said, you're right. Your mother did a really good job teaching you about things.
Yeah.
And so jojoba oil is a good baseline. It's most everybody can use it. I love sweet almond oil. That's one of my favorites, but nut allergy people can't do that one. So jojoba is good for most everyone.
Okay.
It's not too heavy. It's not too thin. It just gives you that slide that you need. It's just good stuff. But I'm picky, so it has to be hexane free and organic and all the things, cold pressed. And
where do you get your oils?
I order it online.
Okay.
I don't grow the trees in my yard, but everything I can grow in my yard, I do. Yeah. I have trust issues apparently. I don't trust everybody to give me what they say they're giving me.
There's bad supplement companies out there. I mean, that's pretty common knowledge. Like you can't just go willy-nilly and get your stuff. Like there's a lot of things to look at, and there's a lot. There's a lot that can go bad with quality contamination.
I actually met on Saturday with a family from Elliott County who is growing their own lavender and making lavender essential oil in Elliott County. Wow. And that will be who I'm going to start using my lavender oil
It's nice when you know exactly what's going on.
I've met them. I've shaken their hand. I've seen their still.
Yes.
Like I've seen it all. So that is a big focus for me is everything has as few ingredients as possible, but they are the very best I can get my hands on.
Yeah, that's...
Because before it goes to anybody else, it's going on me, and it's going on my grandbabies, and it's going on my family. They're the reason that I've made the things I've made. It was to fill someone's need. My daughter needed something. She's had multiple surgeries because of this condition that she has. She's probably going to hate I've mentioned all this about her all this time, but she needed something for her scar tissue on her stomach. So when her digestive tract paralyzed, they put in a gastric pacer. So it's like a pacemaker for your heart, but it hooks to her stomach. She gets a new one every 3 years. Okay. So there's lots of scar tissue going on. And just to sum things up, she's doing great. She's doing really well, has 2 children, married, living a good life, out there on the farm with me, growing herbs, and it's a good life. She's doing great. But we've needed different things. I've got like a balm that's really good for cracked nipples for specific reasons. And I had an issue with hair loss. So I've got a hair oil that I've focused on and concentrated on the ingredients to make it work, to make it be what it needs to be, to get all the exact ingredients just right.
So what did you do? Was like tallow one of your first like ones that you really like?
The hair oil was the first thing I ever made.
Okay. And what's in your hair oil?
4 ingredients.
Okay, I knew you were minimal. That's why I figured I could have.
Coconut oil.
Okay.
Rosemary oil. I grow the rosemary, and then I infuse it in olive oil.
Wow.
Did I say pumpkin seed oil, coconut oil, castor oil? 4 things. Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
And rosemary I've grown in my garden. And I've just done some studies about stinging nettle.
Yeah.
And how it makes your hair really shiny and benefit. So the next batch may have some stinging nettle in it. We're going to see. Okay. I've got a bunch in my garden right now. So that may be added to it next time.
So you guys have personally played with all of these before
Someone asked specifically, there is a health shop in Grayson that specifically was looking for local tallow. Mm-hmm. And so I contacted them. I'd never sold anything. We'd just given it to people we knew. It was just our family and extended friends. And I said, I have some and it's really good. And she said, we want it. We want to sell it in the shop. That had never crossed my mind to sell in a shop. Never thought of it. And then she said, what else do you make? And I said, I don't sell anything else. And she said, no. I said, what do you make? Yeah. And I said, I make lots of things. And my daughter, she's like my biggest cheerleader. She was with me and she said, your hair oil is ready. And I was like, it's ready for us. She put you out there. Yes. Yeah. She's like, your hair oil is ready. And it works. Yeah. It works really well. And so then I started selling hair oil. And now I'm up to 7 products. And
okay, so that's easy enough to name. You got to tell us the product.
Whipped tallow.
Yes.
Pure tallow, which is good for like soap base, candle making, or cooking.
So that's like a thicker then.
It's just that hard
the
initial
hard part.
First
yes.
thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I have hair oil, beard butter. Beard butter is because that baby that was in her belly when she needed the stuff. Yeah. When my husband picks him up, he instantly puts his hands right in that beard. And then he puts his hands in his mouth. And I said, whatever you've got on your beard,
he's got to be able to ingest.
It's got to be okay.
Yeah.
And my husband said, but I'm eating too. And, I hadn't thought about him yet. I was just thinking of that baby. And so I have a tallow-based beard butter. I have black salve. That's like a drawing salve for splinters and boils and pimples.
I'm guessing that has castor oil in it, maybe.
It has activated charcoal, bentonite clay. I believe there's castor oil in it. Why can't I remember right this minute?
It's okay.
Tea tree.
Tea tree's good
eucalyptus.
Too,
like it's. Yeah. We have been using it a lot on tick bites this year. Ticks are pretty intense.
I've been talking so much about tick. I think I'm going to do an informational podcast on tick stuff because so much alpha-gal and the increased rise of everything. So I think I've had a couple people ask me, so I think I'm going to put together a little, like, just a 30-minute on, like, the ticks because it's been so
They're fierce this year.
Prevalent. Like, and people, like, are talking about, like, they've caught, like, they usually have those like trap things, and they said there's been way like tenfold the number. So I'm like, that's just, there's like a lot of conspiracies that they've unleashed this so they can make a vaccine. Have you heard that?
No.
I wouldn't put it past anybody, but I'm just saying, just because the amounts.
I grew up here, and
Yeah.
you'd get a tick bite all the time.
Yes.
Growing up, I played in the woods.
Yes,
You
the
know,
same.
we've got 100
Yes.
acres. We were running the hills all the time.
Same,
But
yeah.
we never thought it would make you sick.
You never thought it'd make you sick. Now, that's why I said I have had so many tick bites in my life, but now I'm like, I don't even want to go through a walk in the woods because I don't want to give up my meat.
I know.
You know?
When
But
I've had people
anyways,
ask me if I have alpha gal, can I use tallow? And I'm like, no.
yeah, it's
No.
all beef products.
Oh, it's on you,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
wouldn't. No.
It's same even like the capsules and stuff. A lot of them on pills, they're beef. Not veggie.
The gelatin.
The gelatin.
Mhm,
So you
yes.
got to get like, I mean, there's so many things that you don't think about that are like, anyways,
We raise cows.
It's a total,
that
yeah.
would be so bad.
That's a
But
total side thing.
The
but-
black salve, once you get the tick off,
yes.
you put the salve on it and you cover it. And then
Okay.
the active ingredients work about 6 to 8 hours. Then you've got to remove it, wipe it off, and reapply until that is out. But it draws out of the skin.
Okay.
The bentonite clay and activated charcoal are going to pull. It's so even like bee stings, wasp stings, splinters. We've got multiflora rose on the property, and when it gets under the skin, it has like a venom in it that your skin just itches and reacts to. Anything you want to get it out of you.
You
That's
put
what we use
that
that
on there.
for. Yes.
There's we were just having the bentonite clay and parasite cleanses and stuff.
You take it
because
internally?
You can like
I
take that,
haven't.
and it's like a binder type
With
of thing.
black walnut. Use black
Yes,
walnut?
that is.
Yes.
That's another
Black
one.
walnut.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's another. And that's for like a lot of those parasite cleanses.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, it's kind of interesting,
Yeah.
you know. And you don't learn any of this in the medical world. This is all stuff
bet.
like, you know, I'm like, but it's really like it's interesting and it works, you know. And like so I think people need to know the full but
For me, I started realizing too, though, if this stuff, when I first started, if this stuff really works, I really need to know what I'm doing.
yeah.
Like, because if it is effective, it could also probably be harmful
Yeah.
if I don't. So I made sure, like I went ahead and did all the online courses and got my certification
Yeah.
so that I would know.
Yeah.
Because again, it was only for my people, for my family and my grandkids, and I never thought about it going any farther.
Yeah.
But it's been a neat experience. It's been fun to meet people
Yeah.
and do podcasts. And
The toxins in the dose, right?
yeah.
You heard that one?
No.
That's a old toxicology or I don't know where it comes from, but I've heard, they say it a lot. But everything can be harmful depending on the
Right.
dose. You know.
Right. I said something I have a person I know who has their doctorate in pharmacy,
Yeah.
and I said something about something was natural, and she was like, arsenic is too. I was
true.
like, well, yeah, it's in apple seeds. I know that. But like, I get that. You still have to be careful.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. But
every-
I just try something natural first. I'm not against medicine. I'm glad we have medicine.
No.
I have family members who I don't know how their life would be without modern medicine. And I'm not against all of that. I just know that in my life I made a lot of quick decisions out of fear. Like,
Yep.
yes, I'll take that if that'll keep this from happening or that from happening. And I just have a more step back approach to things now.
I say that over and over and over again. There's a place for everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and everybody's different and their needs are different. And if you can do something with like things that come out of the earth that God has provided for us, do that.
There has to be a reason we have such a variety.
There
of all
is a
those
reason
plants.
because
we have a creator who gave us those things.
100%. There's a reason. Completely agree.
Yeah.
So wait, did we get through your products or did
I
we?
don't remember.
We said
there's a tallow
the
lanolin.
black slab, the tallow for beards, the other with tallow,
Right.
the
The
hair
cooking-
oil,
Cooking tallow.
cooking.
Did we say that one? And then I have a lanolin and tallow balm. It's more like a salve texture.
Okay.
So if whipped tallow cream is for dry skin,
Okay.
inflamed skin. The
That would be
balm
me.
is for split skin. So my husband worked for UPS. He just retired 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
We're adjusting to that.
Do you like that? Or are you
do.
like, go
I
get
do.
another
I
job?
do. He keeps on saying, "Are you sick of me yet?
Yes.
Are you sick of me yet?"
Yeah.
He's a very handy kind of man. We've got
Okay.
100 acres. He will not be in the house much. He's going to be very
you've
busy.
You've got work
Yeah,
for him.
but he
Okay.
was constantly having like splits up
Yes.
and down his fingers, like the skin would split open.
Yes.
Or I know people who have like conditions where their lips will split.
Yeah.
when we were running the heater all the time, you know how you get like splits up your nose?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
any place that the skin is split, that's what that balm is for.
Okay.
Did we hit them all? I think we've hit them all.
I think that was.
Oh,
when
and
we're-
magnesium mist, a magnesium spray, that's the other one.
Okay.
So again, my oldest grandbaby is 5, and he was doing that thing when you go to lay down and sleep at night and his legs would cramp and
Oh.
couldn't sleep. So the magnesium mist is for that. It's Zextine, whichever one of those you say, magnesium, and you can spray it there. I sprayed on the soles of my feet for sleep. Hello, motorcycle.
I know. I was gonna say they
Yeah.
really wanted attention.
Yeah, might as well acknowledge it's
Yes,
there.
yes.
Then it's good for joint pain. That's one of the conditions with this Ehlers-Danlos, because your joints are so hypermobile.
Yes.
There's a lot of arthritis that happens later in life. Joint pain, my husband has a restless leg. It helps with that. Actually, this event we had last weekend, I sold every bottle except for one of that magnesium spray. It goes very well. So I think that was that's our 7. That's our 7 products.
See, your business is needed.
It is, and it's, again, everything we made's been because somebody in the family needed something. And then they'll come and say, hey, Mimi, that's what they call me. Hey, Mimi, what can you come up with to fix what's going on?
Well, you know, the whole origin for every good business is there's a need, and you address it.
Right.
Right. Like
Right.
there's a question, there's something that needs help, and you provide an answer. That's what every business.
Helping people is my favorite thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have anything coming down the pike?
There's always stuff coming down the
I
pipe.
knew there would be. That's why I asked.
I feel weird saying I all the time because I have a whole family that backs me and supports me and encourages me. But it's my business.
Yes.
But it's a family project. I don't know
Yes.
how else to explain that.
Yeah.
I counted this event that I just did on Saturday. There were 8 members of my family who came and
Really?
supported me and encouraged me and just showed up.
That's
just
so cool.
Just to hug me and say great job, and I appreciate that so much. I have started selling herbs just like loose herbs, herbal season blends, things that I was making even before I knew the medicinal benefits of everything, just because they taste good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sell herbal blends, but I grow them myself.
Yeah.
I'm hand sewing, hand picking, hand drying, all of those things. So this past event, we sold some of those. So some more of like food products, and on the medicinal wellness end of things, possibly. I have had people requesting soap, like a tallow-based soap, but I've never made soap before, so that will be a venture. That's new equipment and new learning. I love learning new things. I don't mind a bit.
Yeah.
But that will take time. And I've had people request things like herbal detox soaks, like with Epsom salts and bentonite clay and all those things.
Yeah.
So that stuff I've got to look into, but I don't just spit things out quickly. It's more, I would rather if I only ever made 7 things.
Do it
and
really
they
well.
were really well.
Yes.
I don't want to put out something that I've not put a lot of thought and research, and I want to know I'm selling the right thing. It's really important to me. If I give you something and then, or someone else, and I'm going to see him out on the street, I don't want to have I don't know, it's just not who I am.
No.
It's important to me.
No, it's called integrity.
Well, thanks.
That's what that's called.
Thanks.
So.
But everybody, we've lived here so long.
Yeah.
My name means something to me.
Yes.
And our farm's name. The reason I had to be Willow Valley Farmhouse is because Willow Valley Farms is our cattle business.
Oh, okay.
And so I had to be Farmhouse, or I didn't have to be, but I chose to be because this is the stuff at the house.
Yes.
And the farm stuff happens down at the barns.
Nice.
And that was a way to kind of differentiate and keep it all separate. My great-grandfather named the farm Willow Valley Farm.
Wow.
And I can see from my front porch across the field over there, I can see the house where my great-great-grandparents lived.
Wow.
And so my name matters to me. And what I put our whole family and all of our heritage on to matters to me.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just sell things to sell things. That's kind of a boundary I've set. We're not just going to do it because we can make money on it. I have to know it works.
So you said your farm was 100 acres? Okay. And then you said you grow the lavender, the rosemary, you have all the cattle.
All the herbs.
Yeah.
A lot
What
of
I was
herbs.
gonna say, what all do you like? Is there?
Right now we have beef cattle. I think I'd said earlier, we
Yes.
used to have a dairy.
Yes.
But when my great-grandfather died, we switched to beef cattle because they don't have to be milked round the clock and all those things. They can kind of eat the grass and be taken care of. So
Okay.
we have beef cattle. We have lots and lots of herbs, vegetables. But again, all of that was just for us. Like, we're just growing tomatoes for us. I got an invitation to sell at the farmer's market this year, but it's 3 times a week, every week, all summer long. And I'm just like, I
Can't commit to
I
that.
can't do it all. I
Yeah.
can't do all that. And I'm getting in my age. I'm getting better about saying I'm okay with where I am and
Yeah.
doing what I'm doing. We have since my husband's retired, his retirement project is honeybees. He really wants honeybees. And we have an orchard with apples and peaches and plums and pears. And he wants honeybees for the orchard. And then we've got those 2 little grandbabies, and we're going to do chickens for the grandbabies.
I love it.
So it's always something.
I love it.
Yeah. So we're raising kids and cows and herbs mostly, but
Jocelyn's over there. We want to get land at some point, and it's just a matter of finding the right stuff
hard.
and financially being the right way to do it. But
especially in our area, so many of us, like, I just know just my road,
Yeah.
road, it's families. Like,
yes,
and my grandparents knew their grandparents, and
yes,
we don't let go of it very easily.
yeah. So, but she's over there thinking I'm jelly right now. She that's all that. But
You can come pet a cow anytime.
yeah, I said we're gonna end up with some random animal rehab on our property. Is what it'll be.
Ooh, that would be
It'll
fun.
be we're animal freaks, and it'll just be But
Yeah.
anyway, but I love that. I love like what you're doing. Like
Thank
now
you.
you told me you had at the start you have how many because you're selling on what did you tell me Facebook and Instagram.
Right
People
now,
can order
Facebook and
it?
Instagram. And I will meet you in a park. I've met in the Walmart parking lots. I met somebody at the Taco Bell off the Canova exit yesterday. Like, I meet in random parking lots all the time. It doesn't bother me a bit. And that's Marketplace or
Yeah.
just a message on Facebook. And it's Michelle Gerlach is my personal one, or Willow Valley Farmhouse is the business.
We
page.
can put that on the YouTube
Okay.
and stuff too, so they
Okay.
can find that.
And then in Boyd County, there's 2 shops that sell the things in their shops. There on Carter Avenue, there is a quilt shop called Best Friends Fabric and More. I believe that's what it is. And they have a little bit of things, just kind of like the top sellers.
Okay.
And then we call it out in the county, out in Summit, there's a shop called All the Things, and they have all the things
Okay.
at All the Things. Carter County has Weaver's Market, which is the Mennonite market. They have everything there. And Nature's Health Shop has everything there. And then the Olive Branch Market, which is in Olive Hill,
Okay.
has all my products there.
Okay.
And then there's a beauty shop in Greenup County called Misty's, I think it's Misty's Cuts and Curls. And she's got a beauty salon, so she sells a lot. They sell more hair oil there than anything. Lots of hair
Okay.
oil goes out there. So all of that has happened since July.
Wow.
So I am cooking a lot. My house does not smell like herbs. Mostly it smells like beef. Like, there's usually beef cooking somewhere, rendering tallow most days.
Do you got any, I know you were saying like families helping you. I mean, do you enlist their help to like do all the cooking, or are you doing it all?
I'm doing all that.
Okay.
My daughter makes the magnesium mist because she started making it first for her son.
Okay.
So I just buy it from her and then sell it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of her end of it. My husband is much more of the carry the jars, load the stuff, pop up the tent. He popped up the tent on Saturday. He's my I heard him telling somebody Saturday he was the guinea pig. That was his main job.
That's hilarious. That's
So
funny.
we haven't really ever had anything that went badly. But I am bad to say, oh, that's good, but how could I make that better?
Yeah.
And so we'll try several different, like I said, we may be adding singing nettle to the hair oil next.
Yeah.
Like, there's always something that I learn new. There's
Yeah.
so much to learn.
Yeah.
It's so overwhelming at times.
It is. That's a good place to ask you about like people starting off, because like I think there's a lot of people that would like to try these things, but they have no clue where to start, and it's very overwhelming. Anything like if you dive in, I mean, especially with health, medicine, like herbal body,
Right.
any of that stuff, there's a lot
We have access to so much information. It's that
Yes.
funneling it down to
Yes.
what of that information is important? What of it will actually benefit me? Because you just spitting out random quotes and statistics won't help your family when they're sick. You got to know what to do and how to do it. And one of the things I've said, and I said to you earlier, was if you just go out your door, a lot of our weeds that we've been, growing up knowing they were weeds, like dandelion and plantain and things in your yard. If you just want to start in your own yard, go outside and find one thing and take it inside the house and smell it. Maybe not taste it yet till you know for sure what it is, but just learn that one thing. And when you start to see that one plant, all the different things it can do, I'll apologize up front because you have your new hobby right there. Like you could nonstop just do that. It's such a fun thing to learn about plants and herbs, because in all of that time that I was learning, like all of the things that are toxic and all of the things, they were saying pull plastic out of your life and you need to pull fragrance out of your life. And when you start down that rabbit hole of all the bad things, like I was changing my laundry detergent and my cleaning products, and even down to the fibers, natural fibers on my body. And all of that was so overwhelming and oppressive, and thinking it was my job to make sure this kid got better and what could,
Listen,
all of that.
You're speaking, I'm in the natural side of things, and it's a lot on metals and heavy toxins and parasites and like all the things. And I'm like, it's in everything. And
it is.
And we're having all these new products every year with more things that we don't even, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And so for me then, when I started realizing that there were plants, that was like the ray of sunshine I needed.
Yeah,
because everything had been so no.
Yes.
And then I got some yeses. And that was such a twist in our life. Just that positive.
You have that sunshiny vibe about you.
You're so
that
nice.
You do.
Nice.
Yeah.
It just, you can only handle the negative of it, or I could, for so long.
Yeah.
Clearly it made me sick. Just that constant pressure of all that. And I can remember saying at that time, I wanted to take her and put her in a bubble and put her on a satin pillow and just keep her safe always. And one of the doctors, they're so wise, working with children, and he said to me, that's not a life. That's not a life. And so I was like, well, then we got to figure out how to do this. And I'm much more, I think that mom heart, much more motivated to I will figure it out for her. Yeah. Like that's what we will do.
Yeah.
We will figure this out. So I can't take away the genetic conditions that we were born with. And again, there is this pocket of just autoimmune genetic things in this part right here. The geneticist even said, he said, when you walk out in the waiting room, I want you to look around. And he said, you all look alike. And he said, because you all come from this same one spot over in Europe. All these genes are traced back to this one area. And all those Scots-Irish people came right here and stopped.
That's interesting.
And so there's a big, like a circle. He showed us a circle on a map.
Yeah.
The saturation of us in this area with those same conditions.
Well, and too, autoimmune things have been on the rise in general. But I think, like what you just said, there's been triggers that have been environmental and our food and in our stress
and
levels.
Our lifestyle.
And our lifestyles, which is stress. Those things, I think a lot of times your genes can handle a lot, but you get to a tipping point where it says, nah,
because you don't tell an Appalachian woman she can't do something like we will.
Right.
And if my family needs me, I'll do it twice as much.
That's right.
We're just,
That's right.
We were raised to be like hard.
And your caretakers taking care of everybody.
But we're still just people.
Yes.
And you cannot, there are so many things my mind wanted to do, my heart wanted to do. My body was just like, no, we are not, girl. We're going to sit down today. That's just all we can do. So it was having something positive flipped a switch for us. Wow. And life just got better. And we needed that so much.
I love that.
So much.
I love that. I appreciate you coming on and sharing that because I think people need to hear this stuff. I think there's a lot of negativity, and to hear hey, there's something right in your backyard. This can give you a turnaround in your. Some people just need that little that twist, the paradigm shift.
Yep.
So I think that's really cool. Is there anything that you want to tell about your business or your life or anything that we haven't been
I feel like
covered?
I've spilled my guts, as they say. But I would just say that you don't have to buy my things, but be really careful about what you do buy. There is a whole, it depends on what algorithm you get on, but there is a whole section of tallow that's available to buy that is bleached and deodorized.
Yeah.
And because people want it to be white and clean looking, which it will be if it's done properly, but that takes time. Most good things take time. Just know what you're getting. I told you one of the products has lanolin in it. Well, I had a very hard time finding lanolin that was from our country. And other countries don't always have the same cleanliness restrictions that we do. Just be careful. Be wise. Once you know, then you know.
You'll know. Yeah.
You know. Try to find things that are in glass instead of plastic. And, but if you can find somebody, if you're in this area that knows the butcher, knows the beef, knows the herbs, it'll benefit you. None of the herbs are just completely mechanically harvested and mixed, and I know when to pick them. I know what time of the day is the best time to harvest the herbs.
You perfected the process.
It's taken a long time, but it's worth that. If I'm going to put all that much energy in it, I want it to be the best it's going to be. The time that I take is going to be the same no matter what the ingredients are, but I want them to be the best because they're going on my family first.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you, this is something I didn't ask you. When you're, since everything's so fresh and the thing, how stable is it? How long does it usually last?
That's a good question.
Because that's, it's all fresh stuff.
Everything is 1 year from the date it's opened.
Okay.
The cooking tallow, if you're using it for cooking, needs to be stored in the fridge.
Okay.
But everything else is okay for 1 year.
Okay.
You know how that tallow is heat sensitive?
Yeah.
So if it gets really, really hot, the whipped tallow, it will melt. So you may find a change in the texture. Everything I didn't know how to make labels. I didn't know what you got to put on the labels. I've had to study the laws about what you've got to put on the labels.
That's a whole other thing.
Whole other thing.
Yeah.
That I, again, wasn't
Yeah.
planning on, but everything I've put on there is store in a cool, dry place. Everything comes in amber glass.
Yeah.
So, to help with the sunlight getting in. I have even paid extra to make sure that as many as I can find that the lids are metal instead of plastic. I'm just picky. I'm just really, really picky.
I love that. You got my vote. I'm having you bring me some.
I will.
Some of the whipped tallow over for my face.
It's really.
Listen, I had somebody tell me this. You're gonna laugh. We went to this. We were after church yesterday. We went to this Renaissance thing, and
I saw that.
And we had no idea. We were just driving by because our church is in Huntington.
Oh, okay.
We were driving by and saw. So we go in there, and I'm playing around. We're eating this we ate these turkey legs, and we're just laughing, having a good time, and I have this big old sugary lemonade thing I shouldn't have been eating, but it was crazy looking. So anyways, my face is so red, rosacea red.
Yeah.
And this lady, Jocelyn, was getting this purse thing that was made out of hemp. Some lady handmade them. It was cool. And anyway, she was I was joking around with her. I was just having a good time. And she's she thought I was drunk, legit. I don't even drink. But she's your face is so red. And she's because I was being goofy and I had a goofy hat on. And she's like, you're, and I'm I promise you I don't drink. She did not believe me. So anyways, my point of all this to say.
I've seen that rosacea.
I need your product on my face. So anyways, but I really do. That's good to say because packaging matters, product or origin matters, what's in it matters, the purity of it matters, and there's a lot of bad out there. A lot. So
and the herbs have no pesticides. We use compost that we make ourselves, and sometimes some cow manure. But it's just it's naturally grown.
Yeah.
And again, pesticides don't even get me.
That's a whole other thing.
Nother
we could do multiple podcast outcroppings.
We'll do the laundry and fabric one, and then we can talk about cleaning products.
I love it.
But again, once you get started on that,
it's a rabbit hole. It's a huge rabbit hole.
But it's so worth it. Your family's worth that. Your health is worth that.
Yes.
The doctor at the Cleveland Clinic who diagnosed my MS said to me, she was talking to me about organic fruits and vegetables. And I said, I live in a little area.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of access to that. And what we do is really expensive. And she said, it's your call. You can put your money on your medicine or your food. You decide.
It's true.
And I've never heard, I needed that, like, straight talk.
You know, and I'm actually surprised you got that from a Western, like, practitioner, because we don't get any education. I've said that, like, on nutrition hardly. It's very little. And it's so, so, so vital to everything. And if people just had perfect food and they moved their bodies and they got sunshine and they, you know, had friends and good relationship and they had a spiritual life, you wouldn't have problems
That
like we do.
holistic-
If you did all of these things, and we're not perfect, but I'm saying, like, if you address these things, you know, a lot of our problems just go away. And, like, people don't realize that. They want a simple fix. They want a pill. They want this or that, and that's not the answer to longevity. It's not the answer to
You're
quality.
preaching to the choir.
So yeah, so I love what you're doing. I think it's
Thank
amazing,
you.
and I love all the work you've done and how the details matter on that, and, like, I love it. So you've sold me. I'm good. I'm ready
Good.
to buy it. So,
Good.
But thank you
You're
you very
welcome.
much for coming and talking and taking the time to do that.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. As always, we're gonna end with a quote. We did an herbal quote today. Let me pull it up here. My ideal of a good herbalist isn't someone who knows the uses of 40 different herbs, but someone who knows how to use one herb in 40 different ways. And that's Savevo, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, Brooks.
That's a good one.
Yes. Thank you again, Michelle, for being here. And we'll see y'all the next time.